Hello, my name is Texas. I'm from Brooklyn, New York. Um, mm, Decided to make some videos in order to highlight um, some differences and changes that I may have, um, being on tea and all. Um, I had my first shot of tea on August 5th at 2 p.m. Wrote down the time. Very special moment. And I had my second shot today, so I am 2 weeks on tea, um, which is pretty awesome. I haven't really noticed any differences, or I don't know whether or not the differences have anything to do with being on tea, but I've, you know, I felt more energetic, um, a little bit more happier. Um, and my sex drive has increased, but I don't know, like I said, whether or not that has anything to do directly with tea. And I think the differences will come to light more after I've been on it for a while. Um, so, a little bit about me. I'm 27, and I decided to transition a couple months ago. Um, had a lot of time to think about it. I feel like I've felt this way for a very, very long time. I'm pretty out to almost everyone in my life. Um, with work, I work at an off Broadway theater, and I'm also a photographer. Um, so I've been pretty open about everything. And my job supports me 100%. Um, everyone has work at work has, been um, referring to me with the correct pronouns, have been respectful, for the most part. Um, Especially, I did a lot of research on the gender discrimination laws, so that kind of helped out a lot. Um, so yeah, I mean, like so far I've had like a pretty positive transition. Um, and I know a lot of people aren't fortunate enough to have that. So I'm really grateful on that spectrum. I've had a couple people who have been like, who have not, you know, understood it, which I understand. Um, and I've also had, some people who have been just disrespectful. Um, and I think I've handled that in a very like positive and mature way, if anything. Um, because I didn't, I wouldn't think that everyone would be 100% for me, but the majority of people are. So again, I'm really grateful for that. Um, I think the one thing that has helped my transition a lot is the fact that I am doing a lot of creative projects, based on my transition. I have two people currently who are photographing and documenting the first 6 months of my transition. Two really, really amazing human beings um, who I've had the chance to actually just meet this year. So they are very new people in my life. And, these projects will, highlight topics such as, masculinity, femininity, gender expression, gender identities, and the way we view bodies in general, especially Black bodies. Um, and it's going to be interesting to see how I kind of interact with two people as my body changes and as, like as I kind of learn to, I guess, embrace this familiar but new part of myself. Um, it's been interesting because a lot of people have been, super focused on asking me a lot about physical changes that I may be expecting. And I am, like, I'm definitely, like, interested in seeing how my body develops and, you know, I'm excited about, like, realizing that my voice dropped, like, I am excited about that. But I think it's not the main priority for me. I think focusing on these topics is very important, because I don't want to be one of those people who are just really concerned about myself, as far as like concentrating more on whether or not like I want to get like a six pack. Like I just don't feel like that is my main priority. Um, I think doing these projects will help me retain like a very positive outlook, and also perhaps help other people through their transitions, because I feel like it's I want to tell my story, um, in order for me to heal in a lot of ways and also to be open, and also to encourage other people to be open. Because, for a lot of people in my life, I'm actually the first trans person that they've ever encountered. So, I've been put in a position in which I have to kind of teach people, but I've also had people in my life who have gone out of their way to do a lot of research, which has been amazing. Um, and, like, again, I think these topics are very important to talk about. It's very important to talk, like to talk about and to analyze masculinity, because, I have met some trans people who, and, in the beginning of my transition, I was actually seeking out, a lot of trans people to kind of interact with and engage with, because it was, I was going through it, I was going through a lot. I needed someone to talk to. And I've met a lot of awesome trans people, but I've also met, some trans people who have been a little misogynistic, sexist, you know, even racist. And, that's always kind of disappointing, um, and problematic. Um, so yeah, I just think there are so many topics to analyze and speak about. And, it's also needed that I also analyze my own masculinity. Because although I identify as a trans man, I identify as a two-spirited trans man. There are a lot of, you know, um, or I just think I, you know, contain both feminine and masculine, sides of myself. And both make me who I am, and I'm not really ashamed of that at all. Um, so yeah, I think that's just all I can say right now. I mean, this is just pretty much an introduction. I'm sorry if I'm all over the place. Um, Videos are always kind of complicated. um, but yeah, if anyone has any questions or if anyone wants to reach out, I would love to meet, other like, trans folks, um, F to M to F, two spirited. It doesn't matter. Masculine center, boys. I'm pretty, open to engaging with a lot of people within the community. So feel free to contact me, and yeah, definitely will keep you updated. I'll probably make videos maybe once a month, um, maybe once every 2 months. Um, so yeah, awesome. I think I did a pretty good job, right? I did pretty well. All right, cool. Have a good day, y'all. Peace.